Hey yogis, and welcome to the Yoga House. Today we're going to do a little short video to help us with our backs. As with all of our yoga videos here, we're looking to balance the body. So that means that we have equal amounts of strength and equal amounts of mobility on the front and the back, on the left and the right, etc. You get the idea, right? So even with a back-based video where we're working into some back bends and some postures that also help to strengthen the back, i.e. bridge poses where you're pushing up using the posterior chain muscles. When we're doing that, we also want to make sure that the front body is strong too. So we're not straining, we're not overdoing on one side of the body and then underdoing on the other side. So this video could pair perfectly with my most recent core strength video, for example. So you could do those two together just for extra invincibility and maximum wellness. So let's begin in a supine position. So as you come to your lying down on the back position, we're just going to sort out both awareness and feeling in neutral spine. Now, what I mean by neutral spine in a supine position is that your skull, your shoulder blades, the back of the rib cage, your sacrum will all be on the ground. And then there'll be a little bit of daylight. You can see my fingers wiggling there, fingers wiggling here. A little bit of daylight underneath the back of the neck and the back of the waist. Now, some people's lumbar spines are quite pronounced. I would say I'm about average. There's a little bit of space there, but not too much. Some people maybe are like here naturally. Some people are maybe here naturally. It doesn't mean you're wrong per se, but what we are trying to do, just dependent on your own natural curvature, is make sure that at the very least, the back of the neck and the back of the waist are lighter on the ground than the rest of your head and back, right? So we're in a neutral position suiting your particular body. So from there, we're going to externally rotate the arms and take the palms to face up and actively push down, right? Now I know this is for the back. This is a specific video for the back, but we're thinking about the triceps as well as the back body, right? So the muscles of the backs of your arms. So as you dig the backs of the hands and the forearms into the ground, as you dig your shoulder blades into the ground, you'll feel your triceps switching on. Now we're also thinking about the backs of the legs. So as you push into the soles of the feet, you'll start to feel your hamstrings engaging. If you want to bring a little bit more awareness or feeling into the hamstrings, then imagine that you're about to slide your feet back, but you don't actually step them back. You push them down into the ground and try to pull them back, and you'll feel no doubt there that your hamstrings are engaged. Now let's look after the front body. So on your next exhale, draw those front ribs into the back ribs. We're not coming out of neutral, we're not tilting the pelvis. We're just drawing the front ribs into the back ribs so that front body is strong as well. And up we go into an easy bridge. Now we're still going to press the arms into the ground. We're still going to press the feet firmly down into the ground and imagine that we're sliding those heels back. Keep your breathing steady, a little bit of space under your chin, and keep your front ribs down. Now you can clench your bum here a little, adding into more posterior chain strength. So what I mean by that is just strengthen the back of the body. The more strength you feel in the back of your body, more additional strength in the front of the body is required. So draw the front ribs down. You can maybe draw the lower belly in a little. Lift your pelvic floor muscles up. That ties front and back together. And then slowly releasing down and release the arms. That's quite a lot of energy there. So we'll shift over onto the front body now. So as you come into the front body, we're going to come onto the forearms and have your elbows directly below your shoulders, right? And then we're pointing the toes. So plantar flexion. Now take the little bit of a neutral rotation in the thighs there. So you have, if you're to press down with your toes, all 10 toenails are on the ground. And then draw the shoulder blades down the back. Now here, we're doing the same thing. right? Even though we're in a different shape, we're trying to engage the back body as much as possible. Press down into your palms. You'll feel your triceps engage that way. Press down into your elbows, and it helps you to access drawing your shoulder blades down your back. That's strengthening into your back. Engage your glutes. Press down into the tops of the feet so that you can engage your quads now. We're starting to come into the front body. Draw the front ribs back. You can see my ribs lifting off the ground slightly. But keep your shoulder blades down the back. Breathing here, Sphinx pose. Now really try to get as strong as you can in the front and back body as equally as possible. So if you detect any areas or feel any areas of laxity, just switch on a little more engagement there. You can see my knees are off the floor, but my feet are definitely not off the floor. So what that translates as is my quads are engaging quite strongly. Now keep your chest at this height and draw your hands back one at a time beside the waist. This is Cobra pose. Legs haven't changed at all. Now there are a few versions of Cobra pose you can be in terms of where the hand positions are, right? So you can be in this position where the upper arms are parallel to the ceiling. Keep breathing as I'm spieling. And your forearms are perpendicular to the ceiling or to the floor, right? So you've got a 90-degree angle at the inner elbows. If that's too much for you, if your shoulders are very tight, you can take the hands forwards a little bit. So the angle is different. The forearms come forwards a little more and the upper arms come down a little more. But if you can, take the hands by the rib cage. Strong, strong, strong now. Thighs engaged. Knees are lifted, but the feet are heavy. Push down into those feet. Engage your glutes. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. Breastbone comes forwards. Keep your breathing going. Try to engage as much as you can through the whole body, front and back balanced, much like we did in bridge. Same stuff, just different shape. Now the acid test with Cobra, because Cobra is a snake and snakes don't have any arms, is can you lift and hover the hands without changing anything else? So that your back muscles are engaging to lift you and your front muscles are staying engaged to keep you lifted, rather than just using your biceps to lift you in too much of a hand weight bearing situation. So just check that. If when you lifted the hands, your chest collapsed down, that means your arms were doing the work, too much of the work instead of the back. So really just lift to where you can lift while you're maintaining that strength. And then we'll lift the hands and hover. Now keep your thighs strong, knees are straight, they're off the ground, feet are grounded. And then start to swim the arms back. Now this is a very similar kind of activation of the triceps that we had in our bridge earlier. Pressing the palms up, but draw your shoulder blades down the back. So send your palms towards the ceiling, but not so high that you slouch or hunch the shoulders. This is very strengthening for the back, but we have to make sure that the core is strong too. Draw your front ribs back, lift your pelvic floor, keep your breathing steady. Really straighten into those elbows so you can feel the pump in the triceps there. Now lifting the legs just a little bit. Keep them straight. Feet are off the floor now, but the knees are still straight. Reach back with the fingers. Reach back with the toes. Reach forwards with the crown of the head and your breastbone. Keep breathing. Think strong rather than high, right? So we're getting into this arm and leg strength as well as into the back, the glutes and the core. And then releasing down. Let's take a little break there. So take your hands in front of you. You can rest your forehead on the hands, or if you've got glasses on, just take your glasses off, or you can take your head to one side. And then just let your body rock a little bit from side to side. Relax everything. Take a few deeper breaths. It's easier to deepen the breath when we're not in such contraction. Good, and then we're just going to go into some core stuff just to support that, and then we'll go back into the sequence again. So let's take an interlaced hand position. Look down at your elbows, keep breathing as I'm setting up with you. Look down at your elbows, make sure that they are a little bit closer together than your shoulder span. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the back, and this time we'll tuck the toes under, lifting the knees, and then lifting the thighs and pelvis off the ground. Squeeze your shoulder blades down the back. So here we're obviously engaging the front body, but we're wanting to also engage the back body at the same time. So squeeze the glutes, squeeze your shoulder blades down the back, and really press into the feet so you can fire up through those quads. Back into the front body again. Draw your front ribs into the back ribs. Good, and then let your knees come down, let yourself lower down, and we'll go into our Sphinx pose again. This time though, we'll take the palms to face up. Your forearms are still parallel. Now you should hopefully feel the echo or the sensation of that lovely core work and weave it in to your back bend. Right, so as you squeeze the shoulder blades down, you can draw the front ribs in, your feet are grounded again, knees are lifted. Good, and then we'll slide the hands back. We'll come back into Cobra again. Take hands by waist, forearms perpendicular to the floor or vertical. Upper arms parallel to the floor or horizontal. Or you can take those hands a little further forwards if it's just feeling too much on the shoulders, if you're very hunchy. But if you're quite open across the chest and collarbones, no problem, take those hands back. Strong in the bum, push down through the feet. And then let the arms go back. Now this time we're going to turn. So there's an external rotation of the arms. Your thumbs are facing up, your palms are facing out, and squeeze the shoulder blades back as much as you possibly can. Slightly more tricky, this one. So if your shoulders are very tight, just take your arms out wider. If not though, keep them parallel if you can. Strong through the legs. Keep neutral rotation in the thighs if you can. So it's very easy for us, myself included, to externally rotate the legs here. So just turn so that your thighs and knees face down. That's something we have to correct every few seconds, I think, even if we're used to yoga. Shoulder blades down the back. Draw front body to back body. You're supporting yourself as you're in this back bend. Make sure not to overdo it in the lumbar spine. So keep your front ribs back so you're long in the sides of your waist. You're not collapsing. And then lift the legs. So think long and strong rather than too high. Now really strengthen into the whole back body and support that strength with your front body. So shoulder blades come down. Engage your bum. Lift the legs with straightness through the knees so that you're engaging your hamstrings. And then support all of that. Draw the front ribs in, draw the belly in, lift your pelvic floor. And then releasing down, very good. And then take the forehead to the hands. Relax and release, just let yourself rock a little. It's intense, this stuff. Keep your breathing steady, even when you're taking little breaks. Good, and then we'll come into our elbow plank again. Interlace the fingers, or if you want to take this a little further, taking the palms down. So your forearms are parallel. The thumbs will usually start to sneak in and the elbows will try to splay out if you have very rounded shoulders, or even if you're super strong there, but you've lost mobility through your strength. So In yoga, we're trying to bring equal measure of strength and mobility. So if you want to challenge that, take your forearms parallel. For now though, if you're feeling a little caught or restricted, keep the fingers interlaced. Tuck the toes under and then lift up into your elbow plank. Grow the crown of the head long. Now engage glutes, belly, pelvic floor. Front ribs move away from your mat. Shoulder blades move down, away from the front of your mat. Good, and slowly coming down. Good. Now we'll come into Sphinx again, but we'll just work on a little bit of extra spice here. So again, setting up your Sphinx, we'll do the first version with the palms facing down. Engage your thighs as much as you can so those knees lift. Engage your bum, squeeze your shoulder blades down the back. Now remember, we've been doing core strength exercises and a few back bends to teach us to unify through the whole body. You've heard me mention before in other videos, other sessions, that each yoga posture should be a whole body event, right? So you're trying to incorporate everything. So this is going to test the metal of that now. So as you set up for Sphinx, shoulder blades down, front ribs back, engaging the thighs, pressing the feet down. I know I'm giving the same instructions over and over again, but honestly, I'm talking to myself as much as you guys because we constantly need to be reminded of these qualities to keep us safe and strong as we work here. So very strong in your Sphinx pose, and now test the metal. Lift and hover those forearms. If you had to lift your feet, even if you had to lighten your feet, or if you had to collapse your chest down to lift the forearms, that is a sign that you need more work with the initial one where the forearms are down. So let your forearms come back to the earth if you had to do this when you lifted them up, right? Otherwise, stay with me, keep the lift. Legs straight and strong, feet heavy, knees straight. Draw the front ribs back, draw the shoulder blades down. Good, and then slide the hands back to waist or by chest or a little bit further forwards and lift yourself up into Cobra. Strong through the belly. Make sure you don't dip into the lumbar. Even if you've got a pronounced lumbar concavity curve, even if you're very dippy there naturally, support yourself. Keep the pubic bone pushing down. Imagine that you're growing your glutes into the hamstrings, right? There's a slight tilt there if you need it. All yoga poses should be energizing us, helping us, strengthening us, freeing us up, not depleting or hurting us. So if you're hurt or if you're feeling depleted in any way, stop, regroup, realign, make sure you're protecting yourself. Lift and hover the hands there. Squeeze your shoulder blades down the back. Reach the arms back. Now you have a choice here. You can keep the palms facing up like the first version, or externally rotate, thumbs up, palms out. Or, if you're feeling it, interlace the fingers here. Elbows straight, heels of the hands together, and lift your legs. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Now keep engaging everything. Strong in the back, yes, obviously, it's a back bend, but strong in the front to support that. Let the sensations that are residual from the core strength work stay with you as a lesson, as a teacher. Stay strong through your belly, your pelvic floor, your front ribs. And then releasing down. Good. And just gently sway from side to side. Good, and then we'll finish off where we started. lying on the back. Find your neutral spine. Strengthen everything. This time we're going to do bridge in reps just to let everything flow with the body, and we're going to add the arms in. So take an inhale to prepare. Keeping everything strong. Exhale, lift up with your pelvis, let the arms go back, palms facing up. And then inhale, coming back down, externally rotate the arms, palms facing up. And then lift up, turn the arms so your palms face up as you reach them back. And then coming down, turning each time so the palms are facing up no matter where you put the arms. Work with the breath now. Exhale to lift up. Inhale to come down. Just let the sacrum kiss the floor. Exhale to lift up. Inhale to come down. Now continue to engage all of the stuff. We are cooling down now. We're coming towards the end of our sequence, but we're still teaching the muscles that we want them to support each other so that our joints and our vertebrae are healthy. We're working on equal measure and equilibrium of strength and mobility. You can do this again and again. We did a few repetitions there of everything, going into things again, repeating the sequences, but you can do way more reps if you wish. You'll feel already, probably, hopefully, that it's really working for you. So you can imagine if you make that amount of progress in a few minutes on a YouTube video, imagine how strong and mobile and free and aware you'll become when you do this stuff every day. Let's do one more together. Good, and then coming down. And if it's your natural inclination to pull the knees in, then do, and just gentle rocking from side to side. Good, and then releasing the legs. Now it might be favorable for you to just lie down with me for a while. We're just going to stay here for a minute. Let your eyes close. Now we can release everything. Let the ground just support you. Palms facing up though. Just placing those shoulder blades in a good spot to give you better posture. Relax and release your bum, your legs, your belly. Let your eyes close. Give yourself a moment to find a little bit of quietude. Good, and then deepen your breath a little, or obviously if you feel like staying in relaxation, then stay there. And if you feel ready to come up, then come up. Thanks everyone for joining me today. I hope this helps your back. This has been very therapeutic for me. I've had a lot of issues over the years because of various misalignments that I have healed through my yoga practice. So hopefully this does the same for you. And please like and subscribe. Do all the things you usually do on YouTube, and feel free to comment if you'd like any videos to help you on your yoga journey, or indeed just your journey, then let me know. I hope to see you soon. Namaste. Have a great day.